It's important to understand that the quality of your pictures is affected by the color of the surrounding light and how the camera's electronics process that light. Compensating for varying lighting conditions is referred to as setting the white balance. Most light looks white to an untrained eye, but it can be composed of a range of different colors. The color of sunlight is different in daylight, in the shade, or in cloudy conditions. Daylight, for example, is fairly blue and fluorescent light is fairly red. If your camera is set to shoot in daylight, but you're shooting in a setting with fluorescent light, your image will look overly red. Proper camera white balance takes into account the color temperature of a light source, which refers to the relative warmth or coolness of white light. Human eyes are very good at judging what is white under different light sources. However, digital cameras often have some difficulty determining auto white balance, or AWB. Incorrect white balance can create unattractive blue, orange, or even green color casts in your photos, which are unrealistic and can be detrimental to your images. The white balance scale is expressed in measurements of Kelvin. The higher color temperatures, measured in the area of 5600 Kelvin to 7500 Kelvin, represent situations like a sunlit or cloudy day. These shooting situations have a greater amount of blue tones and a lesser amount of red tones. Lower color temperature situations are measured in the area of 1900 Kelvin to 3200 Kelvin and are found in lighting situations like standard lighting from a tungsten light bulb or candlelight. These types of shooting situations are found on the lower end of the spectrum and produce greater amounts of red tones and lesser amounts of blue tones. Once you get acquainted with the camera's preset white balance settings, you can try setting your own by using the camera's custom white balance feature. To use this tool effectively, you'll want to be familiar with the color temperature that is most effective for your shooting situation. Again, most light looks white to an untrained eye. Setting your white balance will help your pictures have the proper coloring. If natural-looking colors cannot be obtained with AWB, auto white balance, you can set the white balance manually to suit the respective light source. Your camera will attempt to automatically determine the white balance when it's set to the AWB or auto white balance mode. This is the default setting. You can often get better results by setting a preset white balance or by manually customizing the white balance. Here are some of your options. To access the white balance settings, press and hold the WB button and rotate the main command dial to select the white balance setting that is most appropriate for your situation. In the auto white balance mode, represented by the A, the camera will automatically set the white balance for you. The next white balance setting is the incandescent light setting. It's represented by a light bulb icon. This setting helps reduce the red tones in a picture. Use this when shooting in light provided by standard light bulbs. The fluorescent lighting setting is good for taking pictures under fluorescent lighting. Fluorescent white balance is marked with a fluorescent light icon. The next white balance setting is daylight. Daylight is a great setting for taking pictures in the sunlight. This setting is marked with the sun icon on the control panel. The next setting is the flash setting. Use this setting when using the built-in flash or an external flash unit. It's marked with a lightning bolt icon. Use the cloudy setting when taking pictures on days that are overcast. This is marked with a cloud icon. Use the shade setting when you're taking pictures in the shade. It reduces the bluish tones in a picture. An icon of a house with shade marks this setting. The next setting lets you set the white balance by choosing the value in degrees Kelvin. These readings can be taken with a commercially available color temperature meter. The color temperature can be set from 2500 K to 10,000 K by varying increments. With the Choose Color Temperature icon active, hold the WB button and rotate the sub-command dial to make your selection. The next icon is the White Balance Preset option. Use this setting when you want to manually set the white balance for a specific light source for better accuracy. The preset white balance option is marked by a capital PRE. This is done by taking a picture of a white card or object and then selecting the image for the camera's electronics to reference. An 18% gray card, which can be purchased at your local camera store, will give you the most accurate results. You can also use a white card, an object like a shirt or piece of paper to achieve similar results. To set a custom white balance, the plain white object should fill the frame. Press the WB button and rotate the main command dial until PRE is displayed in the control panel. Release the WB button briefly, and then press it again until the PRE begins to flash. Focus manually on the white object and press the shutter button all the way down. If the camera was able to measure a value for white balance, good will flash in the control panel and in the viewfinder. If the camera was unable to measure the white balance, usually due to too dark or too bright lighting conditions, no GD will appear in the control panel. Try taking another white balance measurement again. Now you have some background on how the white balance is determined by color temperature. Try to choose a value that will work with your situation. With an accurate preset white balance, you'll get better color results when taking pictures. Be aware that custom white balance settings are not a one-size-fits-all solution. These settings are very specific to each lighting situation. You should reset the preset white balance every time the lighting conditions change. To access any of the menus we've discussed so far, just press the menu button and use the multi-selection button to explore the options. This is a great way to get more comfortable with using your camera.